by premium format.
Wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for Midnight Sedge in the morning. The gang is ready to go, and it's time for the show. It's time for Midnight Sedge in the morning.
I was taking my time like Nolan. Now, what I just did there was I hit a button that made a sound like a crowd. In case you were curious what just happened in the scene, I need to explain it to you. And then I'm going to explain to you what's about to happen. I'm going to introduce Andre, and I'm going to introduce Scribelight. And I haven't seen Scribelight in a while, so how you doing, brother? And then we got Chris, and we got Paul. See, and they're going to talk about this movie, and they're going to tell us how they feel.
Now, in the defense of Homer, that's how he wrote it.
Yeah. But you know what Homer didn't do? He didn't write it in the way that Nolan filmed it.
Oh no.
Which is filming it in a way that actually speaks down to you, but where you are going to feel really, really smart for having understood it.
Yeah, that's
So-
the rate of excitement after leaving the film right there.
Did
kids.
everybody else see? Okay, so just full disclosure, I have not watched the movie. I thought I'd show up as the sort of neutral moderator for the
You're
discussion.
making the big mistake of talking about a movie you've never seen.
I know.
Let me spoil it for you. Odysseus wins. Let me.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, this is
Does he,
John
though?
Wick.
Does he, though? We shall...
Well, I mean, the
see.
fact that he got stuck with Anne Hathaway at the end. Maybe you're right.
Yeah,
there's,
My favorite
yeah.
line. You know what my favorite line in the movie is? After he gets through all the suitors and basically wastes most of them away, and he's got a couple of arrows in the back, and he falls into Anne Hathaway or Penelope's arms, and he looks up at her, and she goes, "You're here." I actually burst out laughing in the theater.
Oh,
I went,
no.
"What? Like, okay. Like, are you using recognition software to come up to that with that conclusion?"
Well, we are going to break it down a little bit like more organized than Nolan did, hopefully. There'll be some
Sorry, I
spoilers,
went
there'll be
I went
some
right to the end.
non-spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Now
Oh,
we know how
no.
it ends, but yeah,
You know
we're
how
going
you
to
read
break to it.
books, Paul.
Most of us, like Tom
You're
has
here.
seen it. Chato obviously saw it. I saw it. Scribe didn't. Chris, did you get to see the Odyssey yet?
No, I
Oh,
will
no,
not
okay.
watch it
Wow.
until
Me and Chris.
I'm screaming. I've told
I
people
do
I'm not
believe,
watching
though,
it
that we
until
have
June.
some
Tom
some
has seen
very varied opinions on the panel here.
I do have
already.
questions. I have
Well,
Me
questions.
too.
and so
Yep.
describe, which is cool.
Yep.
So yeah, and I'm not going to be too worried about spoilers. You know why? Because the gist of the story has been out for, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 years, something like that. So
Too soon.
you all have plenty of time to read the core
Too
version of
soon.
it.
I never knew
it's a
Darth Vader
musical.
was his father.
I know it's a musical because I saw a rap battle yesterday.
Oh, is that what you
That's
call
right.
that?
God.
that's right.
Is that not a rap battle? I noticed the rapper wasn't in that rap battle though, so I was a little confused.
Oh my god, that song at the end. Let me rephrase that. That song at the end.
Oh, cringe. Okay,
Oh,
frozen
oh,
cringe.
I thought your camera froze. Okay.
No, I was gonna make fun of it, but at this point, I don't even know if I could. But
No,
let's
the
get
rap
into
on,
this.
The rap on Twitter I thought was an Animaniacs skit when I first.
Well,
I was
that
like,
thing
this
was
is
stupid.
the wrong people are doing this. It should be Muppets or something.
It's still stupid.
Mhm.
And you know why they do it is because you don't know any of the characters in the film, unless
True.
you know who they are, right? Like, yeah. And then it asks you to change that because of Achilles and all that business.
I am curious though why in that rap thing, whatever that was, I did see some people defending it. Like that's something pentameter, Homer, how he wrote it, or whatever. I mean, that's fine, sure.
He did it in hexameter.
Thank you. If that's great if you're doing a junior high presentation, I guess, about Homer on the side, like in class. Okay, these 4 kids are going to come up and they're going to do the Homer rap. But why wasn't the rapper in the rap video? I mean, literally, where was he? And speaking of missing where was Elliot? Where there were a few people missing from that. John Leguizamo.
You think she can rap with that thing?
Well, Elliot was out promoting
Second Nature.
this other documentary, the one about queerness in animals.
Yeah.
I'm sitting.
More important.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Am I the only one who doesn't think that they lowered the pitch on their voice in the film?
Yeah,
because that just came off completely unnatural.
I guess we're going into it. You've got this.
Oh, that's because that's how the movie starts, by the way, just so you guys know. It starts out, you get to see Sinan get killed.
Yeah.
That's how the movie starts.
And I just have to say, we also get to see Sinan, that's Elliot Page's character, run with the ripping muscles and everything like that.
All of it.
What I'm going to say
I did see that scene.
that these AI parodies ain't got nothing.
Oh, no. That scene is literally the scene straight out of the Troy one that everybody's been making fun of, basically, where, yeah. But make no mistake about it. Any critic who's sitting here telling you that Elliot Page's character and Lupita Nyong'o's character have very little to do with the film, they're fucking lying to you. This entire movie is about Elliot Page.
Oh, is that true? Are you?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say entire movie
In a roundabout way. It's basically, look, I'll say the soft shit out loud. It's basically a big immigration allegory that points a finger at us.
Yeah.
And makes white men bad.
What?
Correct. Yes.
Yep. And like I said, the whole thing is revolving around this boy girl.
No.
Right? Yep. Because
Odyssey I agree that the end morale is that we'll get into it, but yes,
we'll get into
the ultimate message of the movie is Odysseus. He is Oppenheimer, and he launched a nuke.
Yep.
And that's because of that ended models and stuff like that. So now immigrants are coming, the sea people, they don't care about models anymore and behaving properly. That's Odysseus' fault. And so now civilization is going to go under.
In the end is I Am Legend.
Nothing you can do. Yes.
That's
I Am
crazy.
Pretty much. Yes. That is the gist of the movie.
Yep. I'm watching Paul's reaction.
Yeah.
I watched this video. All right. So Paul, I did watch your video, and I wanted to ask you, do you root for anybody in this movie? Like, who are you rooting for?
No.
Are you rooting for Odysseus or not? But now that I've heard Tom and Andre weigh in and reflecting back on your review, I'm wondering, is this movie like a Rorschach test? I mean, what is the disconnect here?
It's
Paul?
there in the subtext. It's in the subtext, but you have, and this is why we'll get into it. We'll try to keep it more.
No, this movie is
and
fancy, and it
disgraceful
has the
back
cast and all these other flashy things to trick most people into thinking it's really smart and really well made.
Yes.
And all these things, and you're gonna go, oh my God, Nolan is a king, and blah 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 blah. But let's get to these super chats because these all have to do with
super chat it.
that anyway,
Yeah.
and then we'll
let's
get
try
into
to
the
keep
proper.
it organized after that.
Yeah, try
not
to.
like
Yeah,
Nolan
that was
did
my
in the
fault.
movie. Yeah.
Burnouts 3S3 says, I didn't like the fight choreography in Nolan's Odyssey. You're not the first person I heard say that.
No, I didn't
Did you
either.
feel the fight scenes looked off? I prefer the 97 or Simpson version. Thanks. I'm Homer. Let me tell you a story. Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with Nolan's fight choreography in his last two Batman films, to be fair. I mean, maybe that's just something that comes with his territory.
Yeah. Then Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle. Holy crap. Gifted 5 Midnight Says memberships. We got to have a member stream soon, Andre.
Yes,
keep bugging
we
you.
do. We
Flying,
do.
Flying Blind also says hail to us all. Well, hail to you, Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle. We appreciate that. Dark King says congrats on 900 episodes. Oh, I just noticed.
Indeed.
We're almost up there,
Episode
speaking of
number
Homer Simpson.
900.
Wow.
Yeah. Shame that it involves Nolan desecration. Maybe for episode 1200, we'll be lucky and have acid poured into our eyes.
I don't know. I would call that lucky, but
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's
Yeah.
just a movie.
Yeah. Here's my thing is there's so many people defending it, Paul. That's the thing. And these same people are ones that you're normally like, they actually consider themselves film critics and all this stuff. So we'll see how this rolls with the audience. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the audience is going to be
The audience is going to
fall
fall for
it
the most
Yeah.
part. Yeah, I think so too.
I think "fall for it" is a good description. I meant.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say the audience is stupid in any way. I just think they'll fall for it because, like, Nolan is smart, and everybody will think, "Oh, I figured this thing out." And yeah, it's
Sure, but that's movies. That's what they're meant to do, is making people fall for it.
Yeah, no, I'll say that. I think that this movie is 80% brilliant and really, really good, and 20% bad and truly insidious. And to me, those 20% bad and really insidious destroy what is good. But most
That's a
people
good way of putting it, yeah.
won't recognize that among the 20% that is bad, there's something really, really insidious in the messaging.
Well,
it's kind of like a Trojan horse.
That one to me because I missed it.
Oh, happy to. Well, we'll get into that.
Sure.
Like, we'll get into that.
I'll rage quit when I hear it, though.
Fuck you. That's my thing.
Well, there will be no rage quitting here. We're going to stop with that emotional bullshit. So yeah, we'll get into it. But in the meantime, Kelly Hans 92 says for $10, and we thank you for the support. After seeing this, I would rather sit watching all 3 Lord of the Rings at the same time, and I will still be more entertained than the Odyssey.
Yeah, and the fucking trees walk and talk in that movie, for fuck's sake.
But plenty people will be entertained by the 80% in this movie, which is really good and entertaining, and I cannot fault that. So I think this is going to be a big hit with the audience.
Oh yeah, I think this is
my audience loved it.
It might be very front loaded. I mean, I had a pretty ambiguous reaction, but I was one of 6 in the theater. Or no, there's only 4 of us. Never mind.
Yeah, I think the people that's going to have an issue with this are those that really, really know the source material, and those that pick up on the really more nefarious things that are in the subtext. And everyone else that either don't pick up on that, or that aren't that familiar with the source material, they're going to have a great time with the movie. Most people will like this movie, I think. And Paul, you said that you asked your audience how familiar they were with the Odyssey. If they
not familiar, whether they liked it or not.
Okay, yeah, and I bet you most people did.
And I was shocked at the number of I see 20 just 20-year-olds. I don't know whether that's Gen Z, Alpha. I don't know anymore.
I think that's Alpha now.
That the young people really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And I asked one of them whether they knew the story. Went, no.
It's because it's fucking spoon-fed to them.
Well, no. What the movie is?
Yes.
No, but listen. I tried to review it as, is this a movie? And I kind of made fun of that. And the answer is yes, it's a movie.
It's totally
a 2-hour movie in a 3-hour capsule. That's the problem.
Sure. I agree, but I got the feeling from all the people that I spoke to, they liked luxuriating in its length.
I think so too.
As opposed to it being negative, it seemed to be a positive. Like,
here's my problem.
Yeah. Anyway. Go ahead.
No, Paul, and I see where you're coming from, and here's the things that you're saying are all the things that I'm saying that the audience is going to fall for or be into.
Then you are saying the exact same thing.
We are saying that's what I'm getting to. Is we're saying basically the same exact thing. See, I'm on the other side of this though. I went into this not giving 2 shits and a fuck. Like I don't remember reading about the Odyssey or the Iliad or any of that kind of shit since high school, right? Like, so we're talking on 30 some years here. So I have a very vague memory of this stuff. And I went in going, I don't give a shit about this. I came out pissed. I shouldn't care. But this movie treated me in a way where I felt like this movie's talking down to me and this motherfucker thinks his shit does not stink. And he thinks he's so much better than everybody else. And the way that he manipulated this story to be a modern tale makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever, and it takes me out of the movie every single time somebody starts to talk in this modern dialect. And you had a situation here with Pattinson, who I can't fucking stand, If you'd have just let him talk in his natural fucking voice, do you realize the way he was hamming it up in this movie? We'd have had the second coming of Alan Rickman. Like, I'm not kidding, in a good way.
Great.
Like, I'm just sitting here going, if they'd have let this kid actually use his accent, we'd have had Alan Rickman all over again from Robin Hood had he been able to do this. Because he is the most vile creature in the fucking movie, right? Of all the things. But at the end of the day, we're supposed to almost hate Odysseus just as fucking much. Why? Because white man bad. And that's the whole problem with the fucking movie.
I got a question.
I didn't get that. You'll have to explain that white man bad is in this.
Okay.
Well, they inadvertently make a bunch of other people bad too, but we'll get into that. Just go ahead, Scribe. Sorry.
Well, I was going to ask. So on the dialogue, the dialect. So I haven't watched every interview with Nolan to know what he might have said about his motivations on that. But if the idea was to try to make the material more accessible,
Yes,
not to the modern audience, but to a modern audience, does it succeed in that way, or does it really hinder the enjoyment of the film and the immersion?
No, the problem is. Go ahead.
Again, because Tom, you are speaking for yourself and those who are familiar with the stuff they have. The general audience are going to eat this up, all of it, including the modern dialogue. It's not a hindrance at all. Most people, I think, are going to appreciate it, and the reason it was done is because Chris Nolan has no reverence for the ancient world whatsoever, and he wanted to change it to the modern world and to make it accessible. And Tom, this is something you just have to accept. It's going to work. This movie is going to be a huge hit with a regular audience, I think. And those of us that have objections, we are the minority. We are the absolute minority on this one. This was made for the lowest common denominator, and the lowest common denominator are going to eat this up. Length, everything included. I think most people will have very few objections with this movie. Most people.
Basically, to sum up what I was just saying is I didn't give a shit going in. Now I do. Now Nolan pissed me off. Like, I already hated Nolan to begin with. But now he pissed me off. Why? Because this could have been an amazing fucking movie.
I agree. As I said already, 80%, I think it was absolutely brilliant. 80% brilliant. And the last 20% that aren't, they brought down the movie for me, and they'll bring down the movie for those that really know the sort of material and those who are sensitive to the subtext. But those that aren't, those 80% are enough that they're going to love this movie. And that's most people. What say you, Paulie?
Yeah,
I'm just getting in here, so I'm kind of just,
Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
He just got his toes in the water. He's not ready to jump in the pool yet.
Have you seen the Odyssey?
Oh, yeah.
Let's start there. Let's get everybody's initial reaction to the film since we're all disorganized.
Yeah, let's get organized and to begin with because
it's starting to feel like the Odyssey here.
It's been too much back and forth, just like the movie. So yeah, those of us that have seen it, let's just begin with expectations going in, an overall impression without diving into the good and bad. There's time for that, but for right now, just the overall impression and expectations. Paulie, what were your overall impressions and expectations going in?
The expectations going in were just like, what the hell am I going to get? Because it's just all the noise from both sides were just, this is either a masterpiece or absolutely the worst thing ever. And I'm talking about, just film critique, not anything else, So that was me going in. I'm like, well, somewhere there's the truth. It'll be the truth of, how I experienced it. That's how I usually walk in with these out of the theaters, that I walk in talking to the audience, recording, how I'm feeling in regards to this movie. So, wow. I gotta not read that chat. Okay, so I loved it. I had some problems with it. I had some problems with some of the actors. Matt Damon is absolutely blew me away, which I did not expect. Great pacing, great payoff. That's my first impressions, initial reactions.
All right. And Chato, then, your expectations going in, I'm sure they were mixed, and your overall impression of the movie, like overall.
Well, my expectations are probably the same as everyone else's in that we've already, those of us who have watched videos of people reviewing the trailers, I reviewed the trailer or two. I thought going in that the marketing for this was already a disaster. I didn't want to get into the casting argument because that, you know, that had all sorts of landmines around that I was not willing to go into. I tend to look at things from an industry point of view, and you know, what has Nolan done to do two things, and one is entice us to go see the movie, which I think, well, we'll see from the box office. Obviously, either we are wrong about how bad the initial marketing was, or the Nolan effect was greater than all the negatives that we have already recounted. So I was still anxious to see it. I mean, because it's a Nolan movie. I didn't go in as homework, and my overall impression was mild disappointment.
I didn't see that coming. And Tom, how about you then?
I loved it. It was amazing. No. Honestly, like, that's the shitty part, is there is a really good movie in here somewhere. Unfortunately, Nolan is the wrong guy to tell this story. Because even in the intro, it says that, like, basically to suit, like, so these are the legends and the myths, allegedly. So, like, from the very beginning, you're kind of set up with the expectation that we get out of Nolan that this is going to be a more grounded, realistic kind of retelling. I mean, I was almost expecting it to be in some ways like, you know, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, where literally the Cyclops was going to be some one-eyed dude, right? Like, I was getting to that point. And when I started to see that we are going to get into the mystical and magical a little bit, I got a little excited because Nolan does know ways of doing things. But then you get into the movie and there's like zero suspense. This thing's a choppy fucking mess because he had to chop it down to 3 hours to get it to fit into the IMAX screenings. And unfortunately, it feels like the better parts were probably left on the cutting room floor. And then you have basically 2 or 3 parts that really, really, really ruin the film overall at the end of the day. And it's the parts that have to do with the way they've restructured this entire plot to have to do with Sinan, and the way they treat, you know, Lapita's character and certain other characters in the film, to where it just feels like it's almost talking down to the audience, and especially a certain portion of the audience. And I don't know how many people are going to pick up on it, unfortunately. But those things, to me, adding in with the dialect and a few other miscastings, because it's not so much that there's a problem with the cast overall, it's just they were completely miscast, right? Like Matt Damon being one of the prime examples here. We've talked about this going into this. Because like why this wasn't somebody like Ben Affleck or John Bernthal is beyond me. Because Damon just does not fit this role. And I don't know. And the ages range they're trying to portray here, I'm really kind of confused with a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, I guess my overall impression was, like I said, I went in not giving a shit going in, because we get these kind of epics all the time. But coming out, I was really pissed just because of how I know the audience is going to react to it. And especially the way certain people I respect and certain people are bitching about critics lately in this movie and getting behind this and picking this as a hill to die on. I'm just sitting here going, this is what you're picking? Because, I don't know. This is going to win all the Oscars come Christmas time, so who gives a shit, right?
I got a question for those that have seen it. Yeah. Now,
Did we get all our first impressions?
No, we didn't.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, sorry.
didn't do mine
Apologies.
yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think we all
Yeah.
have that seen it.
Yeah, and as for me, having followed it, and I've been fairly clear. Like, I love the original story here, and I want to see it done. I never once felt that Chris Nolan was the right man to do this, so I was nervous from the moment that he was announced. I never wanted to see Chris Nolan take on the Odyssey, not because I don't dislike Chris Nolan or anything like that, but because thematically, this is not like anything he has ever done before in the slightest. He has never, ever dealt with ancient myth and legend. Oh, he's dealt with modern myth and legend in Batman, but that is fundamentally different and not transferable at all. So this is why I was worried. Like, why does he want to do this, and what does he feel he can bring to this story? And of course, my big worry was, well, what he can do is change it to fit his vision. And then, as I was never worried that the movie wasn't going to be good, but I was very disturbed by what we saw. Because Nolan, he is known for great accuracy and detail. He hasn't said that he's obsessed with it. It's something that others have attributed to him, but there was none of that here. In every detail, something is lacking. With the outfits, with the cast, it's just modern Hollywood, modern audience all over. So this was my issue. My issue was what we saw. The colorblind casting, which I think was really, really bad. And yes, I do include Matt Damon in that. I agree with Paulie that Matt Damon did good. He's a good actor, but I still think he shouldn't have been cast because
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
He's not the right type. And that goes for others in the movie as well. Like Elliot Page, to me, it was a complete and total joke that takes you out in the movie. And same with the other. I mean, you have he has like Southeast Asians in the cast. There's Indians in the cast. It's like I do not support that in the slightest, because again, it just takes me out of the movie, because Hollywood is all about accuracy and stuff like that when it's non-Western civilizations. But here it's like, yeah, no, here we're going to represent everyone, except of course for the Greeks. And I don't want to be represented here myself. I don't want any Northern Europeans represented here because it's not accurate. This should be a Mediterranean story, and people that pass for Mediterranean exclusively should be in it. Ironically, I do not mind Zendaya in the slightest. She, to me, was not the problem. What was done with her, I thought was actually pretty brilliant. Didn't mind that in the slightest. That was perfectly okay with me. But still, my big worry then was always, what are they going to do subtext-wise? Because it was very clear early on that Nolan was going to subvert it. And it's just that subversion. These small, tiny changes that most people won't even notice. But that doesn't make them harmless. If anything, that's what makes them all the more insidious.
Right, and that's kind of where I was. I just want to say real quick that's where I was getting at, where like he vicariously makes the diversity bad people by making all this group of people so diverse that are the army, right, that are following Odysseus. But anyhow, Andre, I didn't mean to interrupt you there that whole time.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So my expectation was, I'm worried about subversion, and what I got was exactly what I was worried about. This is everything that I was worried it was going to be, because it's actually a really, really good movie for the most part that most people will tremendously enjoy, which allows Hollywood to continue sneaking in their messaging and stuff like that, because this movie is filled with it.
I had a quick question, not just because I'm curious. Even for those of you that saw the movie, even if you may not be interested in doing so, did you get a sense that this is a film that people, generally speaking, would want to see more than once? Did it feel like that kind of film to you, even if you're not interested in seeing it again? Did you get that sensation that this is something?
I think so. I think most people, if you like this the first time, you'll like it on repeat viewing. I think this is sufficiently epic that many people will want to see it a second time. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess. I think this is going to win most people over.
But you don't want to watch it again, right, Andre?
I have no need. Again, if it weren't for the 20%, which is like the casting and the subtext, that really destroys it for me. Should the 80% that's good is really good. I'd be happy to watch it again. I can see myself rewatching this movie at some point. I'm not like, it's not a bad movie. And that's what's so bad about it.
That's because it's based on a decent story. See, that's the problem.
Yeah, it's an adaptation of it.
It's like a very bad cover song of a really good song.
I don't think they should have added crypto though. That really
No.
Yeah, that was horrible. Like it had to revolve all around this fucking dog. Actually,
Dog.
it kind of
Well,
does
that
in a weird
dog
way.
actually is there in the original.
it is. That's in
Yes.
the
Yes.
original.
But that
poem.
part it doesn't bother me.
It's my favorite part.
It's
Yeah.
the sin and shit in the way that that's wrapped around, and then this whole I Am Legend ending and how it just treats the men in this movie. Because that's the thing. If it wasn't for so many little itty bitty things, because Andre's right, it's really like 20% of the movie is the problem, and then you got to actually give it another extra percentage just for the dialogue.
I don't
Because-
think Odysseus was not treated badly.
Are you kidding me? This whole thing was a deconstruction of him.
No, I thought he was heroic. Where he was like the difference is that he was a regular guy struggling with.
You missed the entire point of this movie. Then
Well, this is Paul's Chato's take. It's not your take.
He was just a
He already-
look. The to me the point of the movie, which Damon's casting made sense, and the performance and how he was treated was. Nolan tried to bring this down to earth, where even the gods, or Calypso wasn't really a god; she was a nymph. But Athena, was she in his head? Was she really a god, or was he hallucinating?
That's what I actually liked. that
There's a
both of
big
us handled
debate there. That's-
brilliantly.
He
Or a ghost.
completely ripped the gods out of this entire movie.
Yeah.
Because in the Iliad and in the Odyssey, the gods spend a really good amount of time arguing with each other and then sending each other down to affect what's happening to Odysseus and things like that, right? I mean, it was Athena who tried to convince Zeus to get Calypso to release Odysseus. That's not in the movie.
Zeus is not in the movie.
No.
he's
Oh.
present, but it's
he's
just talked
spoken
about.
of as the rules of Zeus.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
'cause that's the
can't
other
do
thing
that
this whole thing
because-
revolves around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we only really see one goddess in Athena, but we're not really sure whether she's there or not, or he's just gone out of his mind. That kind of ruined some of the fun. But on the other hand, so my premise is that he was trying to make this as earthbound as possible, as if the battle. Well, we kind of assumed that the battle with the Trojans, the Greeks and the Trojans, was real. There is no documentation showing that the way it was described in the Odyssey actually happened, or in the Iliad actually happened, right? So he's
Well, the
taken a
movie
lot of
treats that
offense.
as factual.
I think Paul is making up a better movie in his fucking head than he saw.
May-
I'm gonna be
maybe.
honest with you.
But the
I
and
agree with
that's what-
Chato.
That's and to me,
I'm totally agreeing with Chato on this one.
he didn't actually fulfill what I think was his initial premise, was to bring this fantasy down to earth. And to me, the Cyclops physically was a brilliant representation of, okay, that's really cool. But then there was like endless moments where I felt like I was watching the Holy Grail, where his entire group of people are going,
Run
like,
away.
run away, run away.
That's the entire fucking movie is Run Away.
Run away.
Yeah.
But this piece with Calypso, I think his entire relationship with Calypso, other than the dog bit, was the best part of the movie.
That's
and
because
apart from-
Charlize Theron is hot.
Apart from the fact that Charlize Theron actually filled the screen like an actress. I made the point
A
where
movie star.
She was great.
I made the point where I almost wish this movie could have been made with Richard Burton and Gene Simmons.
No.
You guys are
from
gonna
the
make me get
road.
meaner than I have to be, aren't you?
from The Robe, because
Yeah.
in The Robe, which is a cheesy Roman sword and sandal movie, they were luminous in that movie. They overcame all the silly Hollywood tropes because Gene Simmons and Richard Burton were stars. I wish they were in this movie, but that's not what Nolan wanted. So anyways, yeah, he succeeded in some cases with this earthbound theory, and in other cases, as Andre mentioned, he failed miserably, which
Yeah.
made the movie extremely small, and every single part of the movie that had to do with Sinon was dreadful. especially when he's apologizing. Yeah, I couldn't tell you that, that we were all in the Trojan horse, or you would have screwed up the plan and everything else. Like, you're a Greek soldier. You're told what the plan is. You take the spears and you shut up. Like, that was a terrible moment. That was
my issue with it too, is because he would have understood at that point what happened. In fact, a good soldier wouldn't want to know, right? Like, they would totally understand.
Even if they did know, they're not. Their lips are sealed.
Exactly, that's my point. But that's what his issue is, and that's what a lot of this movie is predicated
on.
And
terrible moment.
And this is where I'm trying to tell you guys, like, I get you can enjoy it, but like, don't pretend that this movie isn't about the sins of him letting Sinan die and lying to Sinan. That's a big problem here, because this whole thing is predicated on the fact that basically Odysseus broke Zeus's golden rule, which is to be hospitable to others no matter what, because you may not know if they're a god in disguise or not, right? That's the whole point. And what has happened now is that people are freaking out because the sea people are coming, right? The sea people are on their way. They're going to come. They're going to take us over. And Ithaca is weak because they don't have a king right now. Well, at the end of the day, it's all because basically he lied to Sinan about this whole thing, and because they are the sea people. He created the sea people. That's why I'm saying this thing is all about have to be hospitable to immigrants. That's the whole thing. It's a big fucking allegory for this shit. It absolutely is.
No, he's right. He's
oh
right.
boy.
I didn't
see any of that, man.
I didn't see
you know what?
Well,
that's the beauty of
the end. They basically figure out that's the I Am Legend moment where fucking Matt Damon realizes, oh shit, we're the fucking sea people.
Yeah,
I missed that.
Because that's what I mean, because there's things in the subtext, and the subtext basically is, we are the villains, and Odysseus, you destroyed your entire world.
Yep.
And this is something that's come out later. This is why Nolan has said that he couldn't have done this movie if he hadn't done Oppenheimer first. Now, I didn't realize what he meant by that until seeing the movie, which is basically, he sees the way that Nolan approached the story in his interpretation. Odysseus is Oppenheimer. And what he did is that he broke Zeus' law, which is completely ridiculous. It doesn't even make sense within the movie, because Zeus' law doesn't apply in the case of war. And that's where the entire argument falls apart. But again, that doesn't matter, because the story here then basically is, in doing this one horrible, horrible thing, lying to Sinan, he did this really horrible, horrible thing to the Trojans. And you can, of course, discuss the models of war and completely destroying Trojan society. But in so doing, he did this kind of moral corruption, which basically ended all civility and courtesy and behavior and rules of war, which is what led to the sea people. With the sea people, which right now in the movie then are destroying everyone. They're a threat because there are these mass immigrants which are coming and they're invading. And this is a complete historical fact, by the way. The sea people caused the end of the Bronze Age civilization. It led to a dark age from which Greece never recovered. And Nolan then takes this historical facts and he introduces it into the Odyssey where it is not, and he puts it at the hands of Odysseus. This is his doing. This is kind of like the middle of the story. He did this horrible, horrible thing, and because of that, he ended civility, and now the sea people are coming, and it's the end of the entire Bronze Age civilization. And it's ending. Nothing they can do about it.
He literally says that at the end.
Yeah. Control. Yes, this absolutely is in the movie.
Yeah, I'm not making this shit up.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm not blaming anyone for not catching that, because you really have to look for it. And this is what I was looking for, which is why I picked up on it. But go watch it again. I swear to you, it's there.
Yeah,
it's
you even have to
go subtext.
Everything in the story. Here's the thing: is my memory, and I gotta say, it's a fuzzy memory from history. Is that a lot of things that happened in the Odyssey had to do with Odysseus's, his inability to get his what's the word I'm looking for? His hubris, right? A lot of it's his hubris. And in this story, they've made everything that happens as a result of him. And that's partially, yes, his hubris, but they do it in a way that's so nefarious that like as you backtrack through the movie, and this is where I think people might start picking this up on this on rewatches, is like, what's the name of the witch they run into again? Please help me, Andre.
Cersei.
Cersei.
Cersei, yes. Like Cersei, for instance, is a good example of how he's completely manipulated this story, right? Because she her whole thing is she's hurting the troops. Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it all, but she hurts the troops because of what the sea people have done to her and her sister and her people. Right. So like I said, you got to go back to this whole movie by the time when they have this big whole I am legend moment at the end when Matt Damon figures it all out. Right. That Nolan moment when it's like all this shit that has happened all this time is because of us. Right. And it's the same thing that's basically what he's being told from hell. It's the same thing that fucking, everybody else is saying from the beginning, even Lupita Nyong'o when she's whispering in Tom Holland's ear, like, tell your mother I'm sorry for everything that was carried out in my name. And then the shit where you got her fucking going off on Tom, and he's all like, oh, only a man can take the throne, but my butt's been in that throne for 20 years. And I'm like, and you're saying this when you're freaking out worse than I do? And I'm the man baby here? You're supposed to be able to run a fucking kingdom, and you can't even talk to your son without screaming at him? Like, and that's the other thing is Tom Holland's treated like shit throughout this entire fucking movie. Like, he doesn't give any moments to really shine. The only time he really gets to shine is in the beginning when he actually gets a moment to, with John Leguizamo and Mentor, and you kind of finally get to see, oh, this kid does actually have some moves and he can actually do something. But throughout the rest of the movie, he's not allowed to do a fucking thing.
Well, we were waiting. He learned the move, and this is where we've got what's his name's gun, that theatrical thing. Chekhov's gun, where, okay, we've now seen him learn the move, fucking use it. Okay, there was one fight. Nope, he got beaten up. Didn't use it in the thing. He's up against the guy. Nope, he got nailed again, and he's not using it. Like, okay, why did you show this to us?
I can kind of explain that, but I have to set it up a little bit. And this is also going to illustrate exactly what we're saying about the moral of the story here and the subtext and how insidious this really is. First, I do have to give props to John Leguizamo. He was fantastic in this movie. Okay. He's one of the best parts in it.
He's fine, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's brilliant. He's fantastic, well cast. I do not mind him being Latino in the slightest. I have issues with the other in the cast, not with him, because he's Mediterranean passing. But here's the thing. Let's just go back to the original source material. And if you haven't read the book, it's fine if you have seen any of the past movie adaptations, because this is all the same in all of them, but it's absent in this version. What you have to look at is, why did the gods punish Odysseus? Why was he doomed to spend 10 years to go home again, right? Because that differs markedly in this movie compared to all previous adaptations. In all previous adaptations and in the original story, the reason they weren't allowed to go home had nothing to do with Troy. Troy was fine. That was just war. And they won it in a brilliant way that no one minded. Everyone clapped, cheered. Fantastic. This is how you win a war. Was a complete, total non-issue. Non-issue in the original story. Now, what was the issue was when they got to the island of the Cyclops. And when they first engaged the Cyclops, then Odysseus pretended that his name was really nobody, because he didn't want Cyclops to really know who he was. And then things happen as they do in this movie. Basically, they are able to, actually that didn't happen here, but basically they blind the Cyclops and then they flee. And here's the difference. And this is why.
Say nobody is hurting me.
In all previous versions, yes. This one, no, because this deception doesn't happen here. There's no communication whatsoever between Odysseus and the Cyclops. None. They do not communicate. There is no kind of deception here. And here's the crucial point. In the original and all past adaptations, when it looks like they are clear, when they have escaped, then Odysseus cannot help but boast. He's screaming from the boat after they're out of the Cyclops' reach. It was me. Tell everyone it was Odysseus that blinded you. I'm the guy that destroyed Troy, and I destroyed you. Let everyone know how awesome I am. Odysseus boasts. He gets prideful. Now, this has been a sin that for all of mankind, this is one of the deadly sins, even in the Bible, even if this is pre-Christian. This is the sin that he was guilty of. Pride. Pride comes before the fall. This is why Odysseus was punished. Now, in the original, the Cyclops is the son of the god Poseidon. And Poseidon then wants to destroy Odysseus, but the other gods won't let him. So the compromise is fine. He'll just have to circle around and fence many other obstacles for years to come. All his other men must die, but then eventually he'll be allowed to go back. That was his problem, that he was boastful and he was filled to the brim with pride, and he needed to be taken down a notch. That is the arc that Odysseus goes through in the original story.
You mean
and
Odysseus?
everything else.
You mean Odysseus?
Odysseus, yes.
That's how they say.
It's the Norwegian version.
Yes.
Yeah. Fine. Odysseus, if you want to. I mean,
So, and I just wanted to confirm that's a
yeah, Odysseus in the proper anglicized pronunciation. But either way, then, and now here, look at the contrast. The Cyclops didn't matter. It was completely incidental, because Odysseus was doomed the moment of the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
This is what doomed him in this movie. Nothing else mattered. This is the moment. This is the moment when he broke all civility. This was when he went full Oppenheimer and he launched the nuke. And the ripple effects was that, since he didn't care about civility, now he justified everyone else from doing the same, meaning the sea people. All the immigrants that come later to destroy civilization is him. Now they just have to tolerate it because they started it. That's the model of the story here, which is a major subversion of the original, is for the modern audience, and it's something that most people won't even notice because it's that subtle, but it's there.
Let's first of all ignore that this is the ingenuity that have won most wars ever since, right? Like, that's the whole idea of the story of the Trojan horse. And then I have a problem with the Trojan horse, just the way it's presented in the film, because these guys are crammed in the Trojan horse for like 3 days, I think they say.
days, yeah.
Well, that probably is, I don't have a problem with that.
And but the way it is, it's like, okay, I do, Andre, because after 3 days in the fucking hot sun in the sand, if you got fucking 4 or 5 dead guys in the bottom of that thing and piss and shit everywhere, don't you think everybody's going to walk up to that going, whoa, that's a mighty ripe fucking horse? Like, the last thing they're going to do is drag it into their fucking kingdom where it can stink up the rest of the goddamn kingdom. Like, that, the whole thing starts out of this stupidity from the very start. And I know I'm trying to keep calm on this thing, but goddamn, it's just so stupid.
That
I kept
the
wanting to
dumbest
start
part.
yelling.
That I don't actually mind.
No, but from the beginning, it just starts with this kind of stupidity, and you're right, because it's the fact that he has deceived these people and using a gift of peace in the deception. That was the whole first part, and then the second part, and here's where people are debating, is whether or not that really is Athena or not, because until you get to like the Cyclops, you're really kind of left as an audience member going, oh, dude's just fucking freaking out and having, he's eating too many lotus leaves and having fucking visions and shit, until you realize that no, this stuff is really kind of going on, because then you're left going, okay, so is that really Athena or not? Because I'm convinced that at the end, and this is what we were debating last night, when you realize that what had happened at Troy, and because he just walks through this destruction without even saying anything, right? And at one point it goes from them fighting with guys to all of a sudden there's nothing but women and mostly women and children, right? And it's all you see is these women and children getting slaughtered, mostly women. And he just stands there and watches it happen. And then you have Zendaya's character come up and you see her and she gets her head chopped off, right? And so we're all debating, was that really Athena or was it just another person and it's just him being haunted by this vision of this girl? I said, no, I think it's supposed to be Athena, because at the moment that happens, her statue gets its head chopped off. And then you turn around And this whole thing has been predicated on the idea of you're supposed to be nice to strangers because you never know if they're a god in disguise. I said that was the thing, is I bet you that was Athena in disguise. And when she told him no, basically looking at him, trying to get him to stop the people from killing her, he didn't. And that was his grand sin. So he pissed off Athena, he pissed off Zeus, and then he pissed off Poseidon in that order, basically. And basically, because they tell him in the beginning, Calypso tells him that Zeus is not going to let you die. Right? So she telegraphs it right from the start. She says, you're fine. This whole thing just kind of feels like it was manipulated to tell the story that Andre just said in a way that just so they could kind of say this to the audience. And that's the way it felt to me at the end. It's like you went and manipulated the story just so you could do that.
So my only problem with both your and Andre's deep dive is that the regular audience doesn't give a shit about that.
No, I agree. And this is my point as well.
And that's the problem. Yeah.
No, it's not necessarily the problem. Is that I not that I want to reduce our conversation around, is this entertainment? And I mean, all those things can be in there. I didn't see a lot of that on the first viewing. It's your points are interesting. I had other problems. I mean, at no time was, neither in the Odyssey nor in this movie, was the Trojan horse portrayed as a gift. It was something that the Greeks made, left it in plain view.
Bullshit.
No, it's not meant as a gift.
Right
not in the original.
No, Sinan flat out says it's a gift.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. There's difference of opinion there, but it was an offering. That's what it was.
It's not a difference of opinion. He flat out says it when he gets killed, and he goes, "It's a gift. It's a gift." And
yeah,
dies.
but there's a different kind. I mean, there's a different kind of gift. There's one where you move into the neighborhood and someone gives you a basket. That's not what this was. Part of this was it's a gift in the sense that the Trojans went out and fell for it. That's what the gift was to the Greeks.
Yeah.
It became a gift once they went, hey, that looks pretty cool. I think we'll drag this back in because this is a symbol of our victory.
Yeah.
Look at those stupid Greeks.
Yeah.
They've actually left us a gift.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a welcome basket.
Exactly. Paul is right about that because because again, this is the perfect deception, right?
Yeah.
Because this is something that's even there in the original story. Odysseus knew that there's this popular misconception that many that's come, I don't know, from The Simpsons, whatever, I don't know, where the horse was a gift of, okay, we give up, we surrender, we go, here's a gift to symbolize our surrender to you, bye. No, in reality, what it's supposed to be, what the Trojans are supposed to think is, okay, the Greeks, they consider the Spartans, the Greek city-states, they consider themselves to have lost. They are going home, and they have made this offering in order that they be allowed to go home. Now, in some versions, it's an offering to Athena. In other versions, it's an offering to Poseidon. Either way, it is an offering to the gods to secure safe passage home. And then, since they do worship the same gods at this time, the Trojans take it as a gift both to first and foremost to the gods, which is why it must be honored and put in front of the temple inside of their city. But of course, they also see it as a symbol of their victory. But really, it's the gift to the offering to the gods for safe passage home. This is what Odysseus is gambling on, that they are going to see it this way and then take it into the city in front of the temple for the god in question. Athena in this particular story, Poseidon in others. For instance, in the 2004 movie Troy, it was perceived as an offering to the god Poseidon, if memory serves.
So I have to leave, but I have my ticket to see it again. I'm gonna see it now. I'm gonna try to find the subversion that you guys were talking about in regards to the immigration.
I'd like to get a report back.
Immigration allegory, because that completely missed me. I wasn't looking, obviously.
No, I agree, and that's going to be because
Okay.
they're not forcing it in your face.
I wasn't looking for that either. I was expecting all the stuff to come out of Lupita and Sinan's character, which it does. Don't get me wrong. There's parts of it there, but this whole other aspect that comes in,
the things that really stood out to me that I did not like was Anne Hathaway. And some of those lame speeches she said to Tom Holland,
Yeah.
really bad,
Yeah.
really bad. I thought Tom was great. Obviously, I mean, we didn't talk about. I know you talked about Leguizamo. It's a great character. So you need someone who's a character actor to. He really rocked it.
Yeah, he's fine in it.
There was something else that I wanted to point, and I had a really bad seat yesterday. I wasn't even supposed to see it yesterday,
but anyway, Paulie,
you know.
next time you see it,
yes.
just
So
remember
next
this.
time I
Just
see it,
pay close attention to every single time
Right.
there is a reference to the sea people. And
Yeah.
know
Okay.
this.
I
The
will.
sea people, historically, they did destroy the Bronze Age civilizations. They were
Right, about
immigrants
like
that
what?
came by the sea.
But it wasn't
And
like right
most
away,
crucially,
right? Mhm.
they weren't in the original Odyssey. And in
Right, because they're
any
not
previous
they're
adaptation.
not historically. It's not.
They are historically accurate. But
No,
they're
no.
not
But
there.
historically,
Just
they're
not to
not
that
for
period.
a lot later
Yeah.
in
Correct.
history. Right,
Correct.
right.
Well,
Yeah,
also,
just
like
going
the-
off with I know fully well that this is Nolan's doing it. It's not.
Well,
You know,
and as far
I
as the
get.
No, I was just gonna say, and the one thing I noticed, and this is where, like I said, he kind of vicariously makes the diversity cast the bad guys by doing this, is that that Odysseus's army is made up of a very diverse group, and it's like weird because at first, like his first mate or whatever is like this black dude, and then after he dies, he picks like the next darkest guy in the group to be his second in command. It's so obvious. It's like, oh my god, seriously. But like whatever, it's like, see, I wouldn't care about those kind of characters being in there because you obviously would want an interpreter for certain things. So like, it would make sense. But like, how are these supposed to be Greek soldiers when they're all so different and diverse? Like they even have like the token Asian guy
that's
in
the
there.
reality. We're not supposed to notice that.
No,
because
that
it's all
did
blind
bother me.
casting.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the telltale was when they said the sea people are bringing shawarma to us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting the eye. I gotta go. Getting.
Bye.
All right, love you, Paulie. Take care.
Hey, you guys have a great weekend. Love you too, guys. Adios.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Take
Hi,
care.
Paulie.
But yeah.
So from a person who is into Egyptian stories and studied it in university, and the whole the Trojan horse thing, where it was made from wood and it looked like it was expertly made, but it was jammed full of humans, and then they put down all these rolling logs. It would never have survived the
No.
dragging back. To
Another example of Nolan simply
that
not
drove me
caring
nuts.
about accuracy in the slightest.
So, but
And
he
it's in
claims
everything.
accuracy and then loses it. That was one of
Correct.
the things
There
that
is
he
none.
didn't like in this movie, was this up and down of okay, that horse was really cool, that was beautiful, but it would never have survived the drag back to.
Not only
Troy.
that, I think it's so stupid. Like, yeah, the drag back, that is one thing, but also this was something that wasn't really planned. It was assembled together by warriors who spent 10 years on a beach. Now, I really enjoyed what the wooden horse looked like in the movie Troy, the 2004 movie, because it was very clear that they used shipwrecks to assemble it. It looked like it. It looked realistic. It looked functional. Whereas this thing, parts of it were ship. The rest was pure craftsmanship and handwork, and not only that, it was standing on two legs. Now that is something that requires some serious planning in order to balance it with gravity. You can't have any shifting weight or stuff like that. This is something that has people inside, meaning the weight is going to shift. You can't do that with this thing that has to balance on two legs.
That bothered me.
You need something on all four if you are going to have people inside of it.
So he did manage to do a great job with the witch and how she turned the crewmen into pigs. That was really nicely done. So there, like as you said, there were some
80%
really
brilliant
magical moments in this, and then clear, like stepping into dog poo. I mean,
Except they made Circe's ugly along with mostly every other woman in this movie. That's the other thing.
Yeah, and then again, this is why Theron really stood out for me, apart from the fact that I could actually see their faces in those scenes because they were outside and in the sun. And I really, really objected to the fact that all these kings were living in shitholes. I went, okay, that it doesn't feel very kingly.
That part I actually did not mind in the slightest.
Okay.
Because
More accurate.
because really, this is something we spoke about. Chris, I see you want to say something. Just unmute yourself because you're muted.
Must be a king. Why?
But yeah, but
There's no
basically,
shit all over him.
the kings, the kings at that time, they were really chieftains, is what we would call
Yeah,
them.
but
Most of them
I
could
know.
afford these lavish castles and stuff like that.
So I want to ask then a couple of questions and then get everyone's response who saw it. Are you rooting for Odysseus? And is it anything? Is there any jubilation moments where you're like, oh yes, okay, like sort of a moment where all the sad stuff is over and man, what a ride. That was magnificent.
No,
They give you the false kind of moment of that at the end, but the problem is it's mired in all this other shit that has been brought down upon the film. Because the moment where you would be normally like, yeah, get him kind of thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I said, is when you end up getting Matt Damon with his whole, oh shit, I'm the sea people fucking moment and all that kind of crap. And
Yeah.
and
You
the movie
talking about
ends.
when he slays the other suitors or whatever.
Yeah, and then the way the movie ends, I was like waiting for Glenn Yardborough's "The Greatest Adventure" to start playing because it's like he's all talking like the Bronze Age is over, and those who have yet to be born will know the New Age. And it's like, oh my fucking god, dude, what the fuck am I watching here?
Rankin Bass's.
Yeah, I will also say that that one moment in all previous versions, going back to the original, that fuck yeah moment, that's supposed to be the moment when he just mauls all of the suitors.
Yeah, his
He just
John Wick moment
mows
is
them down as if he's Rambo or the Terminator.
Yeah.
That is actually undercut here.
Yes.
Because the suitors at one point they get weapons and they fight back, and at one moment when it's supposed to be glorious, you actually think, I was like, damn, they're actually going to kill him. He's going to die here, which really undercuts that moment of celebration. So no, you're actually robbed of that. You do not get that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
of course, in most movies, though, you do have that moment where you're like, "Oh shit, are they really going to kill him?" You know, you do have sort
You
of
do.
that-
You do have that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
no,
comes
there's
at the moment.
they kind of almost lose the ability to have that moment of when, you know, that John Wick moment when they realize they're not, you know, he's not trapped in there with them. They're trapped in there with him. Right. Like that's the thing you don't really get because that moment is there like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But it's done so poorly that you're just kind of like, oh, that's how they're going to do that.
It's
It's
almost
subversive.
there.
It's
two-
almost there. Yeah.
Notwithstanding, I agree with your points on that. If I was doing this and I wanted to up the baby, I would have had Telemachus dispatch the other guy who was now suddenly supplying weapons to the suitors. I would have had him dispatch that guy like brilliantly in some wonderful, gruesome moment. Then he goes through the hole in the ceiling, lands next to his dad. They go back to back, weapons out, and they finish off the remaining suitors. That to me was what I wanted. And hold on. And the other thing I didn't like was suddenly the Pattison character. I can never pronounce his name.
Pattison, that's who he is.
Pattison. I didn't like him suddenly going into you go out and get him. I'll just stay here behind the column. You go out. You go. Okay.
They didn't make him a very formidable foe. You're right. Yes.
Suddenly I went, really? No. He needs to dive in there, and he needs to. It's got to be MMA to go
meticulous.
After.
No,
really
you're right.
Hated that part.
That's what bothered me too, because he should be your diehard figure, right? He should be the guy that he doesn't fight not because he's a weasel and whatever. He doesn't fight because he's that good, and he doesn't have to, and that's why he's going to be the last man standing, and he knows
that should have been the final boss. It should.
You're right, and I agree with you also on the Tom part because he's sitting there and he's like fumbling through the fight, and this is where we get the quote unquote payoff from the beginning of the movie.
Yes,
and it's done so piss poorly that you're just like,
bad.
wow. That's it. And you're 100% right. I was waiting for that exact moment, but they even explained to you before the fight that he can't take any part. He can't take any part in the fight.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
so
true.
fucking stupid. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
And you know what? It indeed doesn't make any sense,
No.
because in the past versions of the story, all of them, it's a bonding father and son experience for the two of them to kill the suitors together. Whereas that obviously doesn't happen here. And again, it's because Nolan changes this Sue's law.
It's over
however
this
he sees
stupid
fit.
idea that if he does this, then they will come after him and he can't be king or something like that. Is basically their rationality behind this. And I'm sitting here going, as the fight's going on, you're seeing these suitors, they're starting to bow to Matt Damon.
I
I'm like,
mind that. I didn't mind that.
that's my point, though. It's like, why in the world then does it matter if Tom Holland was fighting it or not? If not, that gains him respect from these people, where he's been treated like a little puny kid who can't do anything for the entire film.
It's just a movie, Tom.
I know, but he never gets any moment to actually be heroic, right?
No,
like
I agree.
he's kind of set up as this character where all he's done through the whole movie is, "Where's my dad? I want to see my dad. Can I see my dad?
Yes.
You know where my dad's at?"
And in his Spider-Man voice. Okay,
Yeah.
Scribe, you have a question.
Oh, well, I didn't have a. Well, I mean, I have to leave here pretty quick.
Oh,
but
then fuck off.
I will. Don't worry. I'll get out of your way.
That was mentioned twice in the movie. Fuck off. Yeah.
Three.
The entire time when this was first announced, before all the controversy and everything else, I was very hopeful, because I remember the '90s, Armand Assante Odyssey, and I really liked that when I was a kid, and I had to read the story in college. And my hope was, I thought Christopher Nolan doing the Odyssey, I thought, in sort of an old man, even though I'm not that old, perspective, I thought this will hopefully be this generation's Gladiator. Because Gladiator is a cultural a landmark that I and people have rewatched a million times, and we love it. It's not historically accurate, but it's entertaining and it's fun. But Christopher Nolan is going to bring... This is what I thought. He's going to bring a classic epic tale to the audience that is going to last the test of time. Because, I haven't liked every one of Nolan's movies, but they've always been big and great. And I thought, wow, you have a story that has been told and retold and analyzed down to death. You don't have to think about it too much. It's all there. And then things started changing as news came out. It's like, oh, well, he's casting this person to play this, and they've done this, and I feel kind of let down for anybody who won't have that Gladiator conquest hero, because you come out of Gladiator,
they still might.
Great. They still might. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe this is the best. Maybe this is the best they can do for this generation. Is that
that's what I mean.
Expectations have been lowered.
Yeah.
So I'm most disappointed that people are neutral on it. If it was absolutely terrible, and that's all you could say about it, great. And if it was wonderful, well, heck, maybe I'll have to go see it. But even from people who came in neutrally to it, or even people who come out with they had some trepidation about it, come out and just kind of go like, it was eh. And that, I think, is the most disappointing thing to me to hear as someone who hasn't seen it yet and still making up his mind technically.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I guess I'll just wait for streaming. I think it's going to make a lot of money. I don't know. Now, so one question is to get back to the numbers of it. So the conservative estimates are that this movie has to make globally at least $1 billion to break even, given the cost of production and the presumed cost of distribution and marketing. Do you think, at the end of the day, this is going to at least break even? Andre, let's go down the list.
Well, sure. I do not think a full billion is required. To me, that number sounds incredibly high.
Okay.
I think that the people who say that, they believe the studio's numbers may be a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. That this has to make 700 million to break even. Yeah, sure, I can believe that. I do not see how this movie can have a break-even point of $1 billion.
No. Okay.
Is it going to reach $1 billion? I don't know. But I think can it reach 700? Hell yeah. I think most people are going to respond to this. I think most people, like we've seen here on this panel, that the subtext, stuff like that's going to go right over most people's heads. They'll have fun with this movie, and this is going to be the closest thing you have to Gladiator for this generation. That could very well be. I think it's going to break even. I do not think it's going to make massive profit, but massive profit is not needed. It's not needed to send the signal to Hollywood, yes, we can continue to subvert and we can continue with the colorblind casting. I think the movie is going to be sufficiently successful that we'll see more of that. This was a great opportunity to end that once and for all, and that I do not think is going to happen. I think this is going to be successful. Not billion-dollar successful, mayhaps, but successful.
Now, Andre basically said my biggest fear, and that is that we have a situation here where this thing is deceitfully woke, right? And what he just said is true. I believe this is going to basically give more of a life to this woke crap. Because this is, unfortunately, a situation where a lot of people are just going to be like, oh, it's a fine movie. It's good. It's whatever, you know, and kind of like Dune in some ways, but even more nefarious, because at least with Dune, it's just Villeneuve changing a few things to fit whatever fucking he wants to fit. But in this, it's done in a way to where when we talk about this, if we don't talk about it in a certain way, we're going to be called certain things, and it's all going to start all over again, just like it was 10 years ago. Because I think we're right about this movie being another battle after another. This is going to be their movie they get behind this year.
Yes.
And that's the thing, is it's going to make enough money to where it doesn't matter how much it costs, that they'll be able to stand there and go, it's profitable. Don't worry.
I think ironically that this is a much better movie, more entertaining than One Battle After Another.
And which probably makes it more nefarious in that sense.
Yeah, sure.
Paul, and that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
But you know what? If people don't notice it, it's not nefarious.
Yeah,
to me, it makes it almost worse.
If it's so subliminal, that's right. That nobody even notices or cares.
Doesn't notice it. That's.
But I mean,
yeah. If the messaging that you detected, Tom, and Andre detected, but the majority of the audience doesn't, then it just ends up being an act of creative masturbation for Nolan and his writers and such,
right.
And then nobody cares. And they may get more brave and say, well, if we can get away with this, let's do that. But of course, if they do cross that line again to the point where it becomes overt and it becomes over the top, well, we've already seen the results of that with previous failures trying to do that very thing without any filtration. So I think this may be not the last gasp of people trying to push this kind of stuff into film, and it may make some creators brave again, or more brave to do it continually. But we've already seen how that goes. It is going to winnow down. That's the market has already spoken. The only thing carrying this movie beyond that is Christopher Nolan's name. If it wasn't Christopher Nolan directing it, then this would not have the cachet that it possesses, I don't think. Even the star power, maybe a little bit, but even then, we've seen lots of movies with big names on it that have completely flopped recently. I think of like Argyle. You had Henry Cavill and a whole bunch of other people in there, big names, lots of recognizable names. Nobody cared.
Yeah, but that was fluff. This is important.
Well, I know.
And the problem also is there's been a line drawn as well. See, that's the other issue.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish this was more epic. This was nowhere close to Lawrence of Arabia, which is like a two-parter.
Right.
Let's be honest with that.
Yeah.
And nowhere close to Ben-Hur, and in many ways not even close to The Robe. And I just wished
you keep referencing The Robe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Paul likes The Robe.
It's okay.
He likes
I mean, I just find it interesting.
And but no one talks about The Robe. But I mean, I think it's significant in this discussion because it's a very religious movie also.
Yes.
And
I have to depart, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Take care, Scribe.
Well,
thanks for joining us. Pleasure to see you.
Everybody in the chat, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Paul Chato's channel and Bleeding Fool and Midnight's Edge if you haven't already.
Check out Scribe's channel.
Yeah.
If you want to. But
like
everybody have a good
video. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody, and take care.
See you, buddy.
But yeah, Chris is thinking the same exact thing I was here. See, this is part of the problem right here. This whole idea that they're making it a political thing.
It's gonna drive the right wing completely
Oh,
insane.
but-
yeah, for those who are only listening, what we're doing right now, because again, we have to give context here. We are looking at the review for this movie from Vanity Fair,
Yeah.
and this review isn't just a review. This is a talking point that's being put out there,
Yeah, it's
and
meant
it reads: Christopher
yeah.
Nolan's Odyssey is going to drive the right wing completely insane. With the byline, I went through this in the video yesterday. The Oscar winner's latest is a Trojan horse of a film, a rip-roaring blockbuster, and here's the key thing, pay attention to this, Paul, secretly carrying a sober meditation on civility and intolerance.
And this was at
Elon
Vanity
Musk
Fair.
is going to despise it. So this is basically telling all of the good folk with the right attitudes, as per the Hollywood standard, this is a movie you need to get behind because this has all the messaging that we like.
So, Paul, you're left wing. I mean, you enjoyed it, and you did not drive you completely insane. So now you know you're left wing.
I didn't enjoy it. I
Oh,
just
I'm
felt
sorry.
kind of. I know. Yes, I'm clearly. You know what? This I'm starting to like Kamala. I'm getting her. After watching this movie, I suddenly went, you know what? If I was American, I'd vote Kamala.
I'd vote Kamala.
Well, good thing you're not American then.
I'm convinced. Yeah.
But of course, you don't have to be American to vote for Kamala. You just have to go to LA or some other place.
That's right.
where
I
it's
could just go
illegal
to LA. That's
to
right.
see
Nail
who
it.
you are. Hell, I could do the same thing. I can
Nail
go there
it.
and say, I'm American, right? Yeah, now let me vote. No, you don't need to know who I am. You're not allowed to ask even. Just hand me the papers.
That's right.
Of
So,
course,
Eddie-
I wouldn't be voting for Kamala, so I'd be arrested right away, probably. But yeah.
Well, one of the things that just hearing what you guys are saying about it having sort of this, maybe it's hidden messaging. It's going to do well because it's Nolan. And
Yes.
I don't know that this might embolden some people to put the woke in a little more if this succeeds. Cause I think
That's what I'm getting
subscribers
at,
really
yeah.
high.
Yeah.
I think it's really around 650. If it hits 650 million globally, it's broken even is what I think. 650 if it's in that range. I think that's
That to me, that sounds plausible.
Bless
I
you.
completely reject any notion that it requires 1 billion to break even.
Me too.
Dude, this is not Avengers Doomsday.
No. But I do. I think that, and I posted this this morning over on Bleeding Fool. This sort of reminds me of you do have this. You call it insidious, but there is some messaging going on here, right?
No,
Whether
totally.
it's well hidden or covered in gravy, right? So it's sort of an eat your veggies type of thing, because I think a lot of times you get this inorganic woke, or some of this is not necessarily stunt casting. I mentioned Mickey Rooney being back in Breakfast at Tiffany's playing a yellow face character or whatever. But then 2016 comes along and we've got the female Ghostbusters. We've got Tilda Swinton playing the Ancient One in the Doctor Strange movie. We started seeing this really weird casting of people in roles that you're like, well, that doesn't really jibe. But I think the people that are saying they're colorblind casting or whatever, I think really what they're doing is they're kind of like your stepmom saying you need to eat your veggies, or your mother saying you need to eat your veggies. So how do we make the kid eat the veggies? Do we bury the peas in mashed potatoes? Do we put a lot of ketchup on it? Do we put it in some sort of batter or whatever? And Nolan is probably the most adept chef to cook up a dish that has the veggies that you don't want, but he does it well enough that you're like, okay, so it's Elliot Page. I don't know what all the controversy was or whatever. And I even had a friend on Facebook who posted his review. He says, I enjoyed the movie. I didn't find the controversies affect the movie too much. The characters in question probably had 5 minutes of combined screen time. Elliot Page did not play Achilles, but played another soldier. If anything, I'd say the overall themes. Now get this, here's what he says. The overall themes were actually pretty conservative. Discipline, perseverance, responsibility, and what it means to be a man. For me, the weakest part of the film was the casting. I don't think Matt Damon was the best choice for Odysseus, although Damon still had a great performance. there were a couple of other casting choices that didn't fit besides the obvious. And adding in diversity for the sake of diversity is annoying and sometimes took away from the film. But overall, Nolan did not disappoint. To which my only comment was, that's very well played that you only mentioned one actor by name and followed it with what it means to be a man, tip of the hat, which I was just being cheeky, when I said that. So he saw it on Thursday night, and this is not a professional reviewer. This is not a YouTube personality. This is a guy that's in my business. So he's a point I'm trying to make. He's not left wing, and he was like, yeah, there were a couple of casting choices that took me out of it a little bit, but Nolan did a good job overall. And so I think that is maybe there is some messaging here, according to what you're saying, Andre, and according to what Tom's saying. And I know others are seeing it too. Paul didn't see it as readily, and you might have been tuned into that.
Yes.
Tom, when you went in. I think you may have had some apathy just towards the whole thing. There's been all this discussion, so you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to keep my eye out. Whereas I think maybe Paul, you didn't even take a notebook, did you, Paul? I think we were.
I never do. I go by feels.
And you just went in and the theater seemed to enjoy it. Did you guys see this in IMAX or a regular theater, or how did you guys see it?
I saw it. I purposely went to a regular AVX big screen presentation, not IMAX.
Yeah, I also saw it in a regular theater. I do not see that seeing it in either 70 millimeter or IMAX would have made any difference. I don't think there was anything in here, anything at all, that screamed for, wow, this is a really test of your equipment. On the contrary, what I will say, though, in terms of like technical stuff, I was very, very happy to be living in subtitle land. And there were times when I did notice that, okay, if you're American, and you're seeing this movie without subtitles, you have no idea what that character just said. There's no way you heard that and stuff like that. Yeah, so I noticed that. So again, I was grateful to be in subtitle land. Yeah. Beyond that, there is nothing, absolutely nothing in this movie that needs to be seen in either 70 millimeter or an IMAX.
Well, hold on. There was that one point where they pushed a spear right into the lens and went, ooh, ooh, ooh.
And of course,
that we didn't get the full effect.
That was Friday the 13th part 3D, I think.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't get that.
Of course, there was like you do want this moment in the beginning, this truly epic shot of Elliot Page in armor that is way too big, who is running in the beach in this truly masculine fashion with muscles glistening. Of course, you absolutely want that on the biggest screen possible.
I think that, but and then what you want is the cardboard helmets of the Trojans.
Oh, those looked awful. I did see some shots that I was like, is this real?
Are they coming after Elliot in pajamas and cardboard helmets? Those that did not feel very threatening.
Yeah. Also, what did not feel very realistic is the armor we are looking at right now, which is of Agamemnon. Thank you. I can never pronounce the name.
Agamemnon.
Yes, that's the one. Agamemnon.
Brother of
John Bernthal.
Yeah,
and this is sort of almost like Batman costume. It looks.
As was said in one of those AI clips, looks like Batman had sex with Magneto.
This one was egregious. I didn't mind the other ones, although it kind of bothered me that they're running for their lives and they don't chuck their helmets. But other than that, this one was weird with the gold spine going down his back.
And that's so ridiculous.
It was. I went, really? What's the point of that?
Well, Nolan thought it looks cool.
Yeah.
Did any of the actors, when they showed up on screen, for any of you?
Sorry, what?
Any of the actors, when they appeared, were any of you taken out of the movie by that casting choice? It sounded like John Legend.
Lupita is the worst.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I think that Lupita is absolutely terrible.
Oh,
I'm not criticizing her acting or something like that.
Oh, and this whole thing about her playing two characters is bullshit, by the way.
What do you mean? Please
She
explain.
does.
She does.
No, she doesn't.
She plays
she
her
does.
sister.
Where is she your sister in that?
So she when she's with
She's the one
Menelaus.
that kills the character we see on screen right now.
So
that's the sister, Clytemnestra.
I thought
She
that was the
kills
same character.
Agamemnon?
There's at no point
No,
where
it
it's
wasn't.
made that
No.
there's a difference between the two of them.
Yes, it was.
Clytemnestra and Helen.
As
are
far
two
as I was
different-
concerned, they were the same fucking person. As far as the
They're
movie was
twins.
But
telling
this
me,
is the problem because it needed to be two separate actresses. There
And
was
it's not.
no reason on God's green earth why they needed to be twin sisters. That was completely.
so then what the fuck did
that's
Helen
the
kill him
original.
for? Because
No,
that
that's
makes
in the-
absolutely no fucking
Hold on.
sense.
That's
Helen
in
didn't kill anyone.
That's in the Odyssey.
They're not twins,
Bullshit.
though, are they?
She killed Agamemnon.
No, that
Yes.
was the sister.
No, it was not. It was Helen.
Yes, it was.
No.
No,
Oh
No,
my
it was
fucking god! She
Clytemnestra.
flat out says that she's Helen.
No.
Because he
no,
turns her
no,
head,
that's
he goes,
the
"This
sister.
is the face that launched 1,000 ships." Then he
No.
turns her, he goes, "Maybe 500."
No.
Because
no,
she's
no,
all
yeah,
Scott.
yeah.
What the fuck movie did you guys watch then?
No. You're wrong. Clytemnestra.
How am
You're
I
wrong, Tom.
wrong? That was
You
Helen.
You are wrong.
No.
You are wrong.
Clytemnestra killed Agamemnon, and there's two versions of it in the original book where her lover kills Agamemnon. They didn't get into that, but Helen was back with Menelaus.
Yeah, basically what happened, to put it really short. Yeah, Helen, not seen on screen, she went with Paris and they took off for Troy. That is what launched the war in the first place. Although really it was just an excuse for Agamemnon.
Well, they did a piss poor
as
job of
covered in the
explaining that.
2004. Yes, they did. But meanwhile, Agamemnon on his side, he is married to the twin sister of Helen, who is back in his city, right back in Sparta. And then after he came back, because basically what happens then is they sack Troy, and then John Bernthal, he takes back Helen and he punishes her. He ruins her face. So half her face is scarred. That's why he says when he meets Tom
That's what I
Holland
just said.
later
That's
on,
Helen.
With
that
Menelaus.
is Helen. That
But
is
not
Helen.
with
That is
Agamemnon.
correct.
Now with Agamemnon.
Yeah, but here's like the thing.
Okay, well, that's
So
where I
he
got
goes-
confused at. I thought that was Helen too. See, that's the thing is this movie does not
Yeah,
explain
you
that
got
well enough.
confused. You got confused.
I think
But
having
then,
them as twins is part of the
unbeknownst to
problem.
them, Agamemnon,
twins
he
in the
goes
book.
back. He goes back where his wife, the twin sister, has been waiting, and she's been having a lover for years.
Yes.
And they then proceed to kill him. So that's the sister who does that. And it was completely pointless that it was twins. There was no reason at all why they had to be twins or why they had to be played by the same actress, because as we just saw, it
Well, that's
confused
where I
Tom.
was fucking confused, and it made absolutely no fucking sense to me because the way it comes off in the movies, that is the same person. Like, there's no separation
It's
between
not.
the two characters.
Well, there was.
Well,
It-
they're
that's the
not
way it is
twins in
book.
the original poem. That's
No,
for
they're
sure.
not. Which is why it was completely pointless.
Well, that's
And
why-
also,
yeah,
I
I'm
did
curious.
not believe.
I would love for somebody to ask Christopher Nolan why he chose to do that.
That's one of the worst creative decisions in it. Was no reason whatsoever for them to be twins or for her to be in that role at all.
Yeah.
It was completely, utterly unbelievable.
So
Completely
that took
unbelievable.
her showing up took you out, Andre.
Yes,
Moment, yeah. Okay.
her showing up took me up completely.
Broke
Took
the
me out of
spell.
the movie completely. Yeah,
Okay.
broke the spell, broke the immersion. And the fact that they were twins, if anything, made it worse, because not only did one sister, did one brother marry that, the other brother got the copy. What the hell for? What strategic alliance would be in that? Where are all the other people from Helen's tribe that would come to their support? Weren't any, as far as we could see. So it was completely ridiculous. It just took me out of the movie. So
Paul,
apart from Ellen, she was
Well, they kind of borrowed the duplicitous sister thing and used it with Antinous, right? Like they didn't use the duplicitous sister part in the movie. They did it specifically just to confuse Tom. What they did use was Antinous, who is Pattison. Penelope's sister was having an affair with Antinous.
She's just a
And-
slave girl in this movie.
Was she just a slave girl in this movie?
Yeah, she's just a slave. She's not her sister. or
Oh,
anything
okay,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
But she's passing secret info onto Pattison. Sorry, so I might have missed the. But I'm saying that they borrowed.
And that is true with the original story as well.
So that.
Yeah, because
that
Pattinson says that's the beauty of slaves is that she will be
Right.
loyal. Because she's disloyal to me.
Right.
She goes, well, she will be loyal again when
and
we're
I liked
married.
her in it. But ultimately, the only part in the movie that gave me the feels, and this is one of the things that Ben-Hur had the feels all the way through many, many times, is the moment when Odysseus runs into Argus, his dog, and his dog stayed alive for 20 years just to be able to see his master
To greet
one
him
last
home,
time.
yeah.
And man, I practically teared up in the
Wow.
theater. I went.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
one
that was
manly
good.
thing in the movie, right?
was-
Like that's
That was really, really wonderful. And yes, one thing, and I'm not trying to write the movie for Nolan, but not having a scene at the end with Telemachus and Odysseus, fighting together and bonding as father and son. I think I missed that. I really missed that moment.
Mm-hmm. Any of the cast when they showed up, did that take you out, Paul? Briefly.
You know what?
Maybe
Lupita, I know about this already. It's past bothering me.
okay.
But the moments she had, feel free to disagree. I thought she did a better job of acting those few lines that she had than Anne Hathaway did. I thought Anne Hathaway was in Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah, I'm hearing she was very wooden.
Totally wooden. Yeah, she tried her best. I could see it. I could see it in her face, and she's acting away, and she's really, really acting. But I felt like I was watching community theater.
they go out of their way to paint every woman in this movie as a saint somehow, even Cersei the witch.
Yeah,
right.
I can't remember.
And they kind of do the same thing with Lupita here, and because she even has that moment, like I said, where she's like apologizes for everything that was carried out in her name.
It's everybody.
and all that
It's it's always a man's fault.
Yeah, that's what I said. Everything in this movie is mostly Odysseus's, if not a man's fault. Yes.
What surprised me though was because this goes counter. That was the one the one maid, the one female slave though that Hathaway cast out to belong with the others to be slaughtered, which again was true to the book. That surprised me a little bit. That was a very non-woke moment right there.
Yeah, she's the only one who's allowed to actually be villainous in any way. Yeah.
Yes.
And they really uggified most of the women in this movie too. That's the other problem.
Yeah. The I see that. Other than Charlize Theron,
and they give Zendaya like one moment to kind of shine when you finally like near the end. I guess she kind of looks like when she's a human or whatever.
Could you kind of feel the Emily Wilson influence?
Yes,
then?
absolutely,
totally, 100%.
Absolutely.
Okay.
See, that's part of the problem. And that's what I'm saying. Cause like I could have overlooked a lot of this shit had it not been for that stuff buried so deep into this thing and being a part of the film's overall arc. Like it's such a problem that again, even this guy's character, Agamemnon, like he's treated like more of a, he's not even treated like a human or a character. He's more
god.
treated.
He's treated like a god.
He is treated like a god in the story, and to the point where it's just like, just so they can make Matt Damon the core source of the issue, right? Like everything falls on his lap as it's his fault, and this whole thing, and they even have it to where it's like he doesn't go home for 10 years, not because he's being punished by the gods, but because he doesn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Even though that's what he keeps saying, he doesn't really want to go home. And none of that makes any fucking sense. They flat out say it at one point, Paul.
No. I'm not arguing. My point is he had to go through the evolution through the guilt of Troy before he could then accept going home.
But why?
Yes, I agree with you. For a period of time, he wanted to run away, if you want to use that term. But then, then he really strongly wanted to go back and was mad at Calypso for not letting him find out earlier.
Well, they even give her an out too, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, I mean, and overall, my feeling is that Odysseus is manly in this, and in the end, I mean, he's got a crew. He does what needs to be done. He's a leader. And then at the very end, he comes back to save his wife. I think it's a very, very clear manly story. I don't have a problem with that.
So you felt then, you say very manly story then, but not like in the same vein as a movie like Braveheart or Gladiator
No.
or something like that.
No, he had his moments of doubt, and I was afraid that those moments of doubt would be way too wimpy, and I don't find them horribly bad. I was not thrilled with when he was wandering around in a stupor as Troy burned, and he the look of doubt in his face, that bothered me because he's a fucking soldier, and these people tried to kill you, and yeah, you're on this stupid this stupid sojourn just to get back this girl that Menelaus lost. I mean, the whole purpose of the war was stupid. I mean, that's always been the case in this book, right? I mean, they're going after because he took your chick, eh? That's it.
Yeah.
And tens of thousands of people are going to die for it. But on the other hand, you're a soldier. You're hired. You know, you've got a job to do, and I was uncomfortable with him walking around Troy, kind of going, "Wow, did I really do the right thing?" But after that, after that, he was with his men. He had a job to do. He had to get his men back safely. He tried his best. You know, don't eat the beef. I told you not to eat the beef.
Well,
and then he has a big fight at the end.
I'm going to wait for streaming. I'm going to wait for streaming. You guys did not sell me on going out this weekend.
And I'm not trying to.
No, I know. I'm joking, obviously.
So, yeah, I mean, put it this way. There's at least enough things. I mean, as Tom and Andre have shown, there's lots of layers to this, for good or bad.
Yes.
No absolutely. Layers in one battle after another. No. That was like having a brick thrown through your window.
Yeah, this is not that.
No, 20%.
No, I mean, that was the least, one of the least deserving Oscar movies of all time.
Do you think Elliot's going to get a supporting actor?
No, if
Nom.
That would be a joke.
That would be a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that thing does and Domingo doesn't, then I'm going to really be pissed.
I mean, it was clear that Nolan wrote a whole bunch of extra lines for Elliot.
Yeah.
That just sounded horrible. And Elliot just put every single, I'm going to say her effort into making it acting. And then they even covered her with like dust and soot and grime.
It sounds like they changed the tone of their voice too, especially it does not even sound like when they normally talk. Yeah.
It was a really, really embarrassing, tedious moment. Now, the guy he was talking to that was sunken half into the soot and ash and covered with the cloth, that was a pretty good scene. I thought that was really well realized.
Just before they started running away. Like, I'm watching this going, this would have been better if it was Monty Python's Odyssey.
Run away!
Because that's what it reminded me. Yeah, just a bunch of runaway.
I agree with you.
I would watch that.
That's one thing we missed out on was was basically the Odyssey from Monty Python.
Oh no, the killer rabbit.
She's a witch.
Yeah, as Andre said,
with
I think
that,
he got a lot of things right. And
it's going to do fine though, so it doesn't matter what I or anybody else says.
No, this is going to do huge numbers. Most people are going to love this movie, I think.
And then I think we read this one, but Kelly
did
Hans,
read that one, so
that's what got us going there. Hyper Guyver says Sony has taken their war on physical media to a new level by locking their Crunchyroll store behind a paywall to restrict the sale of physical media. Oh, I didn't know about this.
Unbelievable.
Well, Crunchyroll.
So what do you have to say to that,
anyway.
Paul? No.
Crunchyroll sucked anyway. I got rid of my account.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, they're not making any friends over there at Sony. Michael Thomas says, good morning, Andre and Tom and friends. Thanks for the show. Cancel the Odyssey. The Fifth Element back in theaters next week. Let's go see that instead. I think a lot of people are going to go see Spider-Man. I think that's what's going to really
that looked good.
Chances.
That looked good in the preview.
I mean, and to me, this is where I'm like, where are the marketing people that used to be in Hollywood where they would normally go, you can't put this movie on top of this movie. You can't have this movie opening up so close to this movie when you have the same fucking cast. Right? Like, to me, it makes no sense. Why? I don't ever remember that growing up where you had a movie where a big movie star or movie stars, plural, were in two big movies all at once. It's just very rare. Do you see that? Especially like a star like Tom Holland, who is technically like what? Second or third star in the Odyssey, even though he's kind of given the shaft. But I mean, yeah, it's just kind of weird.
I'd say he's second.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
But you don't normally see that. It's just kind of weird. And then we got Gilgamesh, who says, "Hello, Andre, Tom, Chris. Chris's father, Chato. I didn't know that was your son."
Well, we haven't mentioned it. I don't know how they found out.
Yeah, he's got hair and you don't. What the fuck?
Some hair.
Yeah. He goes, Chato, a GPT movie for you all.
I got
I think that's what he means. Yeah. Portal to Hell. It's a movie about a portal to hell in a laundromat. So it's aptly titled. I think I've heard of this before, actually. Yeah, it's pretty bad from what I can remember.
I can't do the goon gore. I hope it's not gory. I may check it out.
I'm trying to remember if it's just like goofy or.
Well, when the biggest star is Richard Kind, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Okay.
So they went for the real penguin.
Yeah.
Dark King says, I like Norwegian pronunciation of Odysseus. Yes.
I'm not sure it's just Norwegian though, because like I think it's I'm not saying it's close.
We got to remember how
close
much
to
we
the original
honky
Greek.
tonk shit up too, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the
But
thing.
you have to remember most of the stuff that you see is anglicized. Like Odysseus is anglicized as
That's what I
hell.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Ulysses, which is which is based on the
It's
on
Ulysses
the,
is what we
it's-
say.
yeah, which is also again it's anglicized through all hell. Now I'm not saying that my pronunciation is going to be exactly accurate because it's Norwegian, but it's Germanic, and that actually brings it closer to the original pronunciation of many.
Actually, it's
many
probably more
older
like
words.
this, to be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly.
with
You have to keep
Yeah.
in mind that Ulysses and Odysseus, in their original pronunciation, they sound almost exactly the same. That sounds
Yeah.
incredible. That's the power of Anglification, because originally, like Ulysses pronounced something like Ulysse, and
Yeah.
Odysseus is pronounced something like Ulysse. That's how they're like cognate with each other, because one is Greek, the other is Roman, and then in the Anglification is the difference.
Well, I can't speak for Canadians, but I can speak for a lot of Americans when I say, yes, that is part of the problem. We have honky tonk shit up so much that, like, yeah, I'm surprised that we even get some pronunciations correct.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sometimes that's why I just generally don't even, like, unless it's something I know grammatically, I don't generally tell you to change something when we're doing videos, because it's like, you know what? Andre's probably more correct.
Well,
Because he probably had a better English than I do. But yeah.
You're right. I mean, I have a few French Canadian business associates and friends, and any of them who have moved down to the United States have literally given up correcting people how to pronounce their last name. Like Chevalier becomes Chaliver.
Yeah.
Like they just, you fucking
We
Americans,
phonetically sign every. Yeah, it's all.
you never even give it a try.
Nope.
To do it the right way. Like
I
not
say Chevalier. Yeah.
But again, how can you expect them to?
You're
Because
a
this is
classy
my
guy.
attitude. Just look at my last name. I'm not expecting anyone to even try, let alone to get it correct. Because again, it's a different name altogether, and
Right.
that's the problem with so many names around the world. I don't think that you can expect anyone from a complete different language tradition to get it even remotely right.
Well,
So just
sure. I mean, and
they're going to try
those are
this way,
pronounced
get used to
differently.
it.
Do you Americans remember Larry Zonka in the Miami Dolphins?
Yes.
Well, that's Hungarian. It's Larry Chonka, and it means
Oh, there you
side-
go.
It means
Chonka.
side of ham.
I always said it wrong.
Yeah, Chonka then.
Chonka.
But again, how are you supposed to know?
no.
It's like the same thing when people are like are correcting me. when you say this word with a letter with an S sound instead of a K sound, or vice versa. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, that I actually did say correctly. You're the one who's wrong because you're applying English language rules to a word that wasn't created. We're using the English
Sure.
language rules.
But if you don't try a even French name, a moderately French name, and just give up, or a moderately Italian name and just give up, that you got to try.
Yeah, well, you can try, but again, how are you supposed to know if you're right? Again,
I'm not talking about a Lithuanian name that's 11 letters long and has only 2 vowels. I'm not talking about that. Like,
you might as well have been, because it's French. It's a different language tradition. To someone who comes from a different language, who cares if it's that language tradition or another one? It's not theirs.
I'm not going to defend a Lithuanian name. I'm sorry.
They probably have an easier time with a Lithuanian name than a French one.
Oh, maybe, because there's so many letters you don't pronounce in French.
Exactly, just like Danish. I mean, people think like this is French is this amazing romantic. No, it's a failed, collapsed language, just like Danish. It's the Danish of Latin languages, and people, for some weird reason, find it romantic.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then there's a bajillion English and Scottish names where either the letters are omitted or they're completely changed.
Yeah.
So, for instance, Alnwick Castle is actually spelled Alnwick.
There you go. Yeah. Well, you have that in every language.
Yeah.
Every language, you have like a huge differentiation between how it's written and how it's pronounced. That's a language that's still evolving. My favorite, though, is a name you all heard, and I've said this story before: Caesar, the Emperor Caesar. If you went back to the Roman times and you asked, "Hey, I want an audience with Caesar," they have no idea you're talking about. Because correct, it's Kaiser is how it would have been pronounced. Just to illustrate.
Well, I'm glad we're ending on these 2 foreigners making fun of Americans. Like, I think that's the way to end this show.
Well, we can do that because you don't know our languages. It's very good to make fun of there too. But anyway, moving on. I do believe we have a few more super chats, like this one: Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle, set for $5. So, was there a post-credit scene for a sequel, Deadpool and Odysseus, perhaps? Well, I didn't stay to check. Did you, Paul?
No.
I stayed as long as I could stand for the music, man. That thing was...
No, that was, yeah. I mean, yeah, they were in the shawarma shop. They did that.
Yeah. The score overall, I thought, was pretty good, though.
Yeah, surprisingly for once, and I was going to say that earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt, where, where guys were talking about the sound mix. I guess that's one time I can say I was fortunate in my little shitbox theater, because the sound system in there is not very good. Yes, it's surround sound, but it's like, there's hardly any bass, and I was sitting way up front, but because of the way the theater is set up. So I heard the dialogue just fine. For the most part.
there were moments of boom.
That's what people were saying. Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, that was actually one of the things I didn't like in Oppenheimer, in that when 2 people were talking about making a cheese sandwich, the music was dramatic. Like, I'm joking about the cheese sandwich, but the most banal conversations had the most not thumping. They weren't.
Well, didn't
loud,
they technically invent the microwave that way?
But yeah, the drumming, the drama in the music, as they were just like talking about shit. That's a nice pair of shoes you've got there. Really? I got it from. I mean, that drove me crazy enough.
No, the problem here wasn't the music so much as every time we'd have something happen, we'd have to have it explained to us. And then they explain to us what is about to happen, and then it happens, and then they explain to us again what just happened. See, that's why this movie's so fucking long and feels choppy as shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he had to chop it up to get it into 3 hours for IMAX, but yet all this other stuff's probably left on the cutting room floor. Like, none of the islands do they really explore at all. Like, they just completely bypass the Sirens Island almost completely. I mean, it's just kind of there, it happens, and that's
that was over. Not, but that was okay compared to the giants in the aluminum outfits.
Yeah, that too. All those
run away.
Yeah, all the island stuff was treated like, oh, okay, we're in, we're out. The only time they really get anything is the giant with the Cyclops,
right?
And that's, like you said, completely mishandled compared to the whole point. Or Andre pointed it out, compared to what the original story's point was, right? And I mean, they do even use that as like, okay, we pissed off Poseidon now, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says, for another $5, did the Chariots of Fire theme play when Paige
Yes.
started the
Yes.
astronomy? Nobody should have.
Da, da, da.
Yeah. And Beach Lover says, for €10, Indian YouTubers say that Nolan should learn from SS Rajamouli how to make epic battle scenes
I
and
totally
an
agree.
epic movie in general. They recommend him to watch Bahubali 1 and 2.
I don't know.
Well, who knows? Maybe he'll do
I don't know
for
about
the
that,
next
but I
time.
do know that after watching the fight scenes in this movie, I feel like Nolan was just pissed that he didn't get to make Dune first.
Probably.
There's one big difference. The entire fight scene in India would have cost $8.
See,
If
we
you had
need that
filmed
kind of
it there, I'm
ingenuity.
sure that Nolan could have found a way to make that a whole hell of a lot more expensive
And they would have stopped in the middle of it and danced
and looked no different at all.
and sang.
Pet the dog
Yeah.
through the light bulb.
Yeah.
Pet
Yep.
the dog.
Beach Lover says, for another €5, it won't be successful because it is depressing. People want to be entertained and not depressed.
It
Well,
needed
we
more
shall
depressed.
see.
It
We
needed
shall
more-
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to do very fine, but we shall see. And Professor MEitM has been a member for 63 months, saying, you can't rip the gods out of a story about the gods. That is
Yeah.
literally what deconstruction is.
That's-
Yeah, it is a deconstruction.
Yep.
Totally.
That is the most egregious deconstruction.
Yeah, Bass Player also says, taking the gods out of Greek myth. Let's just take away all the powers of MCU heroes while we're at it. Well, yeah, don't let Nolan anywhere near those, I guess. And then iCthulhu says, for $20, thank you so much. Tom, this is to cover your therapy copay after seeing that horrific movie that defiled the Odyssey. Thanks for your suffering, and I look forward to the discussion and rants behind by 30 minutes. F you to YouTube for moderating this message. Well, you got by it in the end,
Well,
it seems like.
And you're going to have
We
to give me
thank you
that.
for your support.
I will
need that.
defend Nolan under one thing. The Romans did a version of theirs called the Aeneid, and they made changes. So if the
Yeah,
Romans-
this is going to happen. They did changes for their version of Ulysses as well.
yeah, I don't know what that was called.
Ulysses.
Was it the Aeneid as well?
Do you mean
The
like
Roman
the
version
Iliad?
of the Roman version of the Odyssey was the Aeneid.
Oh yeah. Never mind. I'm just now. It's my turn to like myself. It's been a long stream. Yes, you are quite right.
I'm going to need
Yeah.
that compensation, though, Andre, for sure.
Yeah. And Dark King says, for $2 Australian, the Odyssey should not be brought down to Earth.
It's
But
a
if you're
choice.
going to do it, you can do it. You
Yeah,
totally
why not?
can. And it was done with perfection in the movie The
Oh,
Return,
brother,
which
where
I
else?
spoke. No, in The Return, which I spoke about on Wednesday, and with Ralph Fiennes
Ralph
as
Fiennes.
Odysseus. And the more I think about that
Arrival.
movie, the more I like it.
The Arrival. Yeah.
Yes, The Return.
The Return. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the movie that I would have thought that Chris Nolan would have done something like that. If you want to take the Greek gods out of Greek mythology, that's how you do it, and it's a perfectly fair way to do it. And Rambam 3000 says, for £5, Chato saying Samantha Morton was cast as Sergei was about the only good news I've heard about this travesty.
They
Yeah,
uggify the shit out of her.
Yeah.
They planify the shit out of her.
That's more like it, yeah. And I didn't see
Well,
the problem.
I'm sitting here
with
going like, because the first thing that happens is the second mate now, the new second mate, jumps on top of her to tackle her down. And she's like, take whatever you want. Like, basically, like, this guy's going to turn around and grape her.
Right.
And then he acts like the gayest dude in history. He's like, what? No, I don't want to rape you. What are you thinking? No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So,
that
like, the
was
whole
a bit
thing is in the
ridiculous.
original movie, like, in the original story, Cersei is supposed to be like a temptress, like a witch, right? Like, she is supposed to be good looking and all this shit. And in this, she's just treated like some old hag, kind of. Not old, but like, you know what I mean? Like, middle-aged housewife kind of.
Well, she needs to be
range.
able to judge the men.
I didn't
then-
like that moment either. It kind of justified the horrible thing that she did. I didn't
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
I hate it. I really, really hated that. No, I mean, yeah, I mean it's a Middle East. It's a South Asian guy. He was probably a member of a grooming gang. I can understand why she was scared, but
I know.
but I hated that. I really. Oh, okay. So now we have a reason why she did that horrible thing to the men.
Yes, it's justified.
That I didn't. I thought that was completely unfair.
So that woman did nothing wrong, and she undid.
No, she did nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And then Michael McLeod says for $20, thank you so much.
Thank you.
On the bright side, maybe the rose-tinted glasses that certain people see Nolan through will come off and finally see him as flawed.
No,
not for many. No. Those
Won't
people
happen.
will adore this movie.
Yes,
totally.
Yep.
Many people will like this movie, and it's going to take a lot to make them see it other ways. And if they haven't done it already, they're not going to do for this.
the reason I think people will like this movie is that it feels like a meal.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it feels like an epic in a sense. Yeah,
it does. It has that,
but
it's lacking all the substance. That's the problem. You're right.
Yeah.
It's like a McDonald's, a very fancy Big Mac, basically.
It's a triple Big Mac.
Yeah,
but
basically.
most people won't even notice that.
Yeah, and here's the other problem with this, Michael, is a lot of people forget that a lot of Snyder Bros were born out of Nolan people, right? Like they were kind of an offshoot of the Nolan-esque people. So like these are diehards, right? Like that's the thing is that he's got a group of people that, and this is why they're coming out after us, and it's mostly critics, because they're like, how dare you? How dare you say the thing about our god of movies? Because as of right now, they consider Nolan like the top of most of the pop of most.
I'm not getting any of those people.
Oh, I get plenty of those. Because like I said, they're an offshoot of the Snyder Bros.
We've gotten a lot.
Or the Snyder Bros are an offshoot of the Nolan freaks, I should say, or however you want to put it.
Yes, because to me, like I'm not like Tom. I don't have like any issues with any particular fan base and stuff like that. What I will say though is that when I was charting movie forums back before YouTube was a thing, the Nolan fans stood out in much the same way as people later associate like Snyder fans and stuff like that as particularly immature, thinking themselves movie connoisseurs because they understood a Nolan movie. But anyway, moving on. Packing Protons says for $5. How can there be spoilers for a 4,000-year-old play? Well, it's true. I guess it depends on the subversion, I guess. Bucky Cat says for $4.99. On a more positive note, has the panel seen the Uprising and I Play Rocky trailers? I'm looking forward to those two movies based on what I'm seeing. Yeah, I Play Rocky. That seems fine. The
That looks
Uprising.
great.
I saw the trailer for that earlier today. I was like, yeah, that seems interesting, I guess.
I don't know what the Uprising is, but yeah, I've had my eye on I Play Rocky now for well over a year, or close to a year, whenever they first announced it. And it's one of the few movies I'm still looking forward to.
Yeah,
I am
besides
too.
Godzilla.
I actually found the trailer to be kind of emotional. I was like, wow, it made me want to go out and work out or something.
Well, it says something because Paul, you said you normally don't like Hollywood movies, so for you to have kind of a reaction like this, it does say something for it, at least, I guess. Because normally you say you don't like Hollywood movies about making
Hollywood
movies.
Behind the scenes making of yeah. I think
he's
the
muted.
Uprising is that Andrew Garfield movie, right?
I don't know. I'm not even sure what that is. Yeah,
Well, I may be confused. Anyway,
We
we see the trailer for I Play Rocky. We have to look more at the Uprising, so ask us about that later.
Yeah.
Packing Protons says for $5. At the start, can we just refer to Elliot as Ellen? He is still a she after all. Well, here's the thing. The name has been legally changed. Now, you can't change a gender just like that, but you can actually legally change a name. So, see our predicament.
Look,
right there,
I respected Prince's name change, so I guess I got to respect this one too.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, right? This is like the thing that we do not have to engage in any misgendering. We're not doing that. But saying Elliot instead of Ellen, there we may not have any real choice in that matter because that is the legal name in the passport, in the trades, everything like that. So hands kind of tied on that one, but we will do absolutely no no misgendering. And you will note that whenever I do videos, I always refer to the individual as Paige.
I think that Elliot would be more brave had they just decided, you know what, I'm going to stay a woman, but I'm only going to do male roles from now on. I'd have more respect for that. Because, like, I mean, look at, like, certain actors and actresses in the past. I've brought this up before, like Linda Hunt. I mean, you even have, like, Dame Edna, for fuck's sake. Right? Like, there's certain characters and actors that they can play, and nobody says shit. Because it's fine that they did that. Like, if Elliot decided that from here on out, I'm still going to be a woman in whatever in my real life, but on screen, I'm going to be whatever. Because even Johnny Depp hasn't known what the fuck he is for 30 years. But I don't see him chopping his dick off. Right? Like, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, actors act. You know, like they act. They become different people for about 3 months, and then they go on to become somebody else for about another 3 months. Right? Like, that's kind of their lives. Like, I don't understand this.
Paige is playing a different part and really went method about
unfortunately,
it.
We should move on from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Patrick Robbins says for $9.99, just learned Sweeney will star and produce a new Sleepy Hollow movie. Hell yes. It's interesting. Cool, but I wish need to be something like Red Sonja. I mean, where her talent's really
she needs a big studio picture too to get behind.
I know, right? So I was like, I'll say, yeah, cool, but hey, it's another retread. We've seen that before. I'm not all that excited, to be honest.
Well, I know a lot of people have been like, you know, she should have been Supergirl. I'm like, why would you have wanted her to fail in that? Because do you think the movie would have been any different?
Not Supergirl. Yeah, no, not that.
I'm not impressed with Sweeney's acting chops, to be fair. I mean, she's attractive. I mean,
you need something where not much acting is required. Something Red Sonja like. Yeah.
How did you like her in Housemaid?
I haven't seen it yet.
She needs to do more rom-com / type stuff first to get herself kind of more established. But yeah, I've heard decent things about the Housemate movie, but Valentine Puppy says no small robot, you know, friend of Ulysses. Yeah, this movie just made me want to watch Ray Harryhausen's Clash of the Titans more than anything.
Yeah.
So there were no skeleton warriors in this?
Yeah, sadly no.
That's
this way says it's a faithful adaptation of Homer Simpson's version.
I'm the problem.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And Jason Webster says for $2 or $3 million, the 6th Odyssey sense. I see dead careers. There's not gonna. This one isn't gonna kill any careers. But yeah.
No. This has got that Oppenheimer kind of cultural prestige going for it, and that summer.
They might get lucky with a Spidacy kind of thing going on, maybe because you have the same cast. They might get lucky there and spark something off. Because otherwise, like, you're going to have competition happening. Spider-Man is going to completely obliterate this movie at this point.
Well, it's doing, I think, like over half its take on Thursday night was IMAX.
That's another problem, and people are pointing out. And I think you had done a story about that recently, Chris, where you said that the IMAXs are doing well, but none of the other screenings are. So.
Yeah, but it was enough. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was enough that it beat Toy Store's preview night. Toy Store.
It's open to almost 18 million in previews, so it's doing amazing numbers based on those premium format screens that have been sold out for a year.
Yeah. And then Gilgamesh says, Americans don't speak English, we speak American. Yep,
yeah.
American.
And this point is so important that Valentine Puppy repeated it. We created our own English. Tough teeth deal with it.
Damn right.
Yeah, there you go.
Then Action Com says, remember when Coen Brothers. Yeah, Coen Brothers, yes. I was going to say, Oh Brother, We're Out There, which we've mentioned a few times here. Only to come clean and admit they never read it. Well, they hit the major. Yeah, they hit the basic beats of it, and that's all that matters, right?
They hit like the most well-known beats. So, yeah.
It's all it needed, though. It just needed to be inspired by it. It didn't need to be a beat-for-beat retelling of it, right? Like, and it endures because of that, I think. Is like, okay, it took this classic story, but then put it to a modern-day kind of flavor, and that's how you modernize something. You don't do what Nolan's doing here. You do that. Something like that. But anyway, Hyperguyver says, why does this ceiling bird sing low battery?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I still need to figure out exactly which ceiling bird it is. I've ruled out 2 during the course of this stream, but we still have a couple more to go.
There's a ceiling bird?
Yeah, there's like some beeping that comes every once in a while.
Smoke detector.
Yeah, it's not me then. I did not notice it.
No.
Normally I'm the one who does notice that shit, but I did not notice it.
Yeah. So no, it's a smoke detector that's in need of love, care, and a new battery.
Oh, so you're being ghetto. Knock it off, Andre.
That's it. Yeah.
Change the fucking battery. All
Yeah.
right, so I hope we didn't miss any of these because I didn't come into to Rumble until late. So hopefully I didn't miss any Rumble rants, but I think we got them all here. So let's scroll back down here. We got One Punch Fan coming in here with just came out of the Odyssey, 4 out of 10 for me, which is a 6 to most people, never going to watch it again. Yeah, that's about where I'm at. I mean, I don't know if I'll never watch it again, but I'll have to be bribed into watching it again. Then he says, 3rd attempt to sing it. Andre.
Well, I'll say it. Hashtag save Stargate, but you're not getting any singing out of me. We'll leave that for the roof bud.
I sang that better than you did as you last time when you were
Exactly.
gone.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyhow, One Punch Fan says, I think I would rather watch Supergirl again than this Nolan see.
No, I think
yeah.
I'll sooner watch this movie than Supergirl. But that's
Yeah, I don't know. They're about even on my.
I mean, I equate Supergirl with that Star Trek thing, like Sector 31.
Section 31.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that extent, but yeah, it was
Not
pretty bad.
that bad, but I mean, they're not that far apart.
Not too far, no. And then One Punch Fan says, Chato, I think we got your Canadian smoke in Northern Virginia this morning. Yeah, same thing in Wisconsin, man. It has been hazy and shitty. We even got one of those air pollution warnings. So yeah, is that all Paul's fault? Thanks a lot, Paul.
Yeah. Blame Canada.
Fucking Canada. You're muted. You're muted.
It seems to have subsided today. It's quite clear today.
Well, that
A lot
means you
more than
guys
it was,
in the
yeah.
States got the worst of it.
Well, that's
Yeah, yesterday was horrible.
Yeah, yesterday was
Today's
bad.
not so bad. But and that's it. That's all I got, unless there was something we missed from earlier.
Cool. Well, with that, we have to say thanks to the panelists for joining us today. Everyone, be sure to check out Scribe Light, who joined us. He also has some great videos up there. Check out Paulie of Latino Slant fame, and Mr. Brawley. Any cool articles to read over at The Leading Fool?
Well, just to touch on some things we've talked about on Above the Fold right now, you can go check out that I Play Rocky movie and get a little bit of information about that. You can check out the trailer, rather. We also get into the budget. How much does this movie, The Odyssey, need to beat to be a bona fide hit? And I do an article I posted is Ghostbusters to the Odyssey. It's still the same old veggies, which I really lean hard into that sort of strange analogy about you got to have this DEI because it's good for you. So eat the veggies, kid.
Well, yeah, Andre and I used to use the analogy that it's like going to a steakhouse and them forcing fish upon you.
Oh,
it's like, but I didn't order fish. It's like, doesn't matter. It's good for you. Eat it. Right? You'll like it. Eat it and like it.
You can just push those peas aside. I remember we had a reply guide talking about it's only 5 minutes. Elliot's only in it for 5 minutes, whatever. The woke's only in it for 5 minutes, on and on and on. And I said, that's like saying there's a turd in my salad. If I could just get that out of the salad, I'll finish it. You know?
No, that's where I was saying.
Yeah.
Anybody saying that, they're kind of misrepresenting this film, because a large portion of the whole point of the shit that Matt Damon is going through is because of what happened to Sinan. And it makes no sense when you're told that. You're just kind of like, oh, that's the reason. That's bullshit. Because anybody in any kind of military situation would know. In fact, Sinan would be like, don't tell me, right? Whatever you're going to do, don't tell me, because I don't want to know, because if something happens, then I don't want to have to be responsible for it. And that's the whole reason.
And one other thing bugged me as well with that. And it was like, dude, you could complain. All the other people, they complain about like being buried or not being buried. And here's all the other people that died, and Sinan was grateful being, but dude, you all ended up in the same place anyway. What's the fucking difference?
Pretty much, yeah. And then Valentine Puppy says, we have our own culture. God bless America, U.S. Indeed. Indeed. And then Jason Webster
review. Oh, whoops.
Yes. No, you're fine. And then Jason Webster says, we all know there will be an 8-hour director's cut of Nolan's Odyssey. Well, that's one thing we have never gotten is yeah, he's never done a quote unquote director's cut from my knowledge. So
this is the movie we'll get. This is not Ridley Scott.
Yeah, that's
here.
it. Yeah. But yes, do check out Paul's review over on Call Me Chato. You got anything else coming up?
Apparently some young Canadian with an expired visa slapped someone because they had a MAGA hat. And so
I
now
saw
they
that, a
wanna-
16-year-old girl, no less.
they
Yeah.
wanna
No, it was a
deport her.
250. It was a shirt. She had a shirt on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they want to deport her back here, and I'm fighting against it.
Yeah, why would you
No, you
want her
take her.
there?
We don't
No,
want her
no.
here.
No. So that might show up in appalling news today.
Oh, good.
So she's
Fun.
got a septum ring, of course, and her husband has got metal spikes in his teeth.
We put up
yeah.
with Brian Adams for 30 fucking years. You're taking this bitch back.
Brian
I'm
Adams is
surprised
now
this woman is even
in
married to a
England
man.
somewhere.
It's barely a man, Andre.
Okay.
Brian Adams is about the same height as
And the same thing with
as
Brian Adams.
Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, either
Andre,
way, look forward to that. And also check out Midnight's Edge After Dark 2.0. Link for that is in the description. So support Tom over on that. We will have more
Appreciate it.
videos dropping over the course of the weekend. Check out the ones we have dropped already. And with that, let us bring on the koalas in the rain.
Hit like.
Yes, do that if you haven't
Do
already.
that too.
Koalas.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given.